Welcome to Mic'd and Medicated.
And this is our first rodeo.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Welcome back to Mic'd and Medicated. We are very excited to be here with all of you, recording episode 3.
So before we get into this episode, I am feeling really stressed, and I'm really happy that I have my chill pill pillow right here, because Eva has a flight in like an hour that she's to leave for and hasn't packed. And I'm very anxious. So if that comes through the camera, anybody who's more organized than Eva will understand my heart palpitations.
Well, I can tell you my husband will definitely understand. And the reason I'm feeling kind of okay with all this is a very familiar dynamic, because usually my husband is playing the part of Caroline. So I'm like totally just absorbing her anxiety.
You mean you're deflecting it to me?
Sure. Maybe that's another way to say it.
Well, you know what? Let's get right into travel while we're talking about your irresponsible travel plans. Woo! Deep breath in. We are about to go on spring break, which is not what your trip is. You're going to college visit. But on Monday, we are going on spring break. And this is not Acapulco, wet t-shirt, MTV contests.
No, it is not.
Right. This is the Upper East Side version, which is very, very different. Actually,
dun, dun, dun.
This is who can spend the most money in 2 weeks contest.
Unless you're the Haymans, who like to take advantage of all their Marriott points. So that is really lowbrow.
Well, as long as we're speaking about the Heyman way, we also only do the 1 week travel. And that is also very un-Upper East Side.
Oh, well, there's not only is there a 2 week travel, there's a term for it called fire and ice, or I guess ice and fire. Do you know what that is?
No, I've never heard of that.
So that's when a week in Aspen is not enough, that you have to fly to St. Bart's to like defrost.
Oh, I do know this. I didn't know there was a term for it, but I will say many years of skiing, I was always sort of feeling sad for the husbands of my friends and myself when everybody was jetting off to the second week of their vacation somewhere warm and I was going back to work.
You know what? I actually think those husbands and you, maybe not you, but those husbands were pretty damn happy to go home alone and probably make some more money after their wives and children spent it all.
That's a great point. And I think we should also clarify for anybody out there who's confused. It's not a 2 week epic extravagant vacation because everyone saves up all year for this one time. It's actually one of many vacations throughout the year. There's, let's see, what is there? Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, spring break,
MLK weekend,
June, August.
It's a lot. It's a lot
June
of
and August.
Right? Oh yeah, June and August
first
for
week
sure.
After school ends, first week in August, before school begins. I mean, why do we even live in New York if everybody just is leaving all the time? It's a little bit
I don't know.
right?
It never sounded good to me to travel to Thailand over Thanksgiving vacation, but
also isn't Thanksgiving like the ultimate American holiday? Like why what are you doing in Thailand? Like I want to be like where it feels pilgrimy.
Yeah.
Like have a turkey and fireplace. Like you're in Thailand, right, Thanksgiving. That's weird and too aggressive.
Fair. I think a lot of people feel like they want their kids to see the world, to be cultured. Travel is, a better education than school. And as long as you've got the money to have a travel education and a private school education, why not?
I don't know.
No, it's so true. You actually just made me think of something. Speaking of the keeping up with the Bezos that we've been talking about in the past few episodes, I feel like there's this rush to have my child be cultured and traveled. They're 2. Calm down. It's okay. You can do it when they're 10 and they'll remember it. Yeah. I don't know. I noticed that a lot. It's like annoying.
And I will say I definitely concur with Courtney's advice, but even at 10, I want to warn if you have, children out there like mine, we went to London. That was like our first step in the direction of a international vacation. And we were on our way to Buckingham Palace and Eleanor said, "Oh, is that where the princess lives?" And I said, "Well, it's where the royal family resides." And we got there and there was a line to get into the, 278 rooms of the palace. And we hadn't even gotten in the first room. And she said, "Daddy, can I have your iPhone?" And she basically spent the next 3 hours just watching TV on the iPhone. So, and actually, if I'm really honest, she might have spent 8 hours a day watching TV on the iPhone. So you may think you're culturing your kids, but make sure you know the kinds of kids you have, because otherwise, as Caroline likes to say, you're just taking your normal everyday life and putting it in a different place.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm not for that. Also, my kids are already getting a little bit too much glimpse of the good life. I'm like, they have to look forward to something. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like my son's like, I want to come to Capri with you. I was like, oh no. Like, I don't need you walking around in linen and, buying gelato and...
Teddy's very sophisticated. He has sophisticated taste.
Right? I mean, yeah, I agree. I think actually he would appreciate it, which is terrifying because he's 8.
Right. Exactly. So let's get back to, there's a lot of steps in the vacation process.
I agree. You have to plan like a year in advance. And then the best part is people like to then talk about where they're going on vacation. So it's not even just about the planning and the booking, but it's about the sharing. Oh, did you book yet? Oh, did you book your hotel? And then if you really want to step it up a notch, you're like, we don't have to. We have our own home.
Or if you're like me, you have trouble figuring out where you want to go, and your husband is...
Your last minute?
Yeah.
I can't even believe that.
Doug wants me to be more of an advanced planner. And sometimes I also aspire to be that, but it's never a priority until it's here.
Question, do you think, I don't feel like the Marriotts are on the like Upper East Side spring break circuit, so isn't it easy to get in?
Well, I will say we intentionally go to different locations. So we don't do summer in the Hamptons. We don't do spring in Aspen.
You go to Bedford and you go to Beaver Creek.
Let me finish. We don't do Palm Beach over Christmas.
Where do you go over Christmas?
Well, Christmas is a little tricky. We do something different every year, but it's often Florida. We went to Naples this past Christmas.
Okay.
And then we always ski over spring break. We just do something different. So we're going to Beaver Creek. But, part of I think why it takes so long is that I feel like you should just be able to go online and book it. And my husband really loves being a travel agent and like scouring the internet and VRBO and figuring out where to stay.
But doesn't he find really bad locations, or bad hotels, or are you just low standards? Because I don't let my husband book hotels.
Oh, yeah. I think you're going to have to post that video I saw of you when you ended up in Denmark in a hotel that was substandard.
It wasn't a hotel. It was like a long-term residence. Okay. And there was hair in the bathroom and it looked, gravel and a parking lot. And you know what? I am a luxury lover. Okay. And if I'm going to travel somewhere far like Denmark and it's depressing because it's Nordic and there's no sun, I told my husband, you have to Google Hermes and find the best hotel next to Hermes. That's how you know. And sure enough, we moved locations. My husband made fun of me, obviously, although I'm secretly happy we moved hotels.
Yes.
And I opened my beautiful window and I saw Hermes. I didn't go in it, but I could look at it.
Okay, so let's talk about routines, because I do think it's hard for a lot of people, myself included, to go away unless you're truly a real adventurous spirit and leave your routine. Or maybe I'm the only one who feels anxiety.
I agree. And I think actually the funniest part about this like Upper East Side spring break vacation is that I guarantee you nobody's enjoying themselves or relaxing. They're all overscheduled. They get up at, if you're at a resort, it's getting up at 5 to get their chairs. It's like taking the stress elsewhere. And I think that's just the biggest joke because everybody's always going on vacation. Like, you can't run away from yourself. But I do not like vacation sometimes because I love routine. I get very anxious about leaving my Tracy Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, I agree.
Anxiety about it. Don't even get me.
Yeah, I can't. I don't like leaving my dog. My kids are usually with me. Otherwise, I would miss them too. Food. I like certain foods. My daughter has food allergies, so it gives me anxiety. I don't know. It's just packing. It's really stressful.
I create a routine and a structure when I get somewhere. So, for example, you mentioned exercise. I don't belong to any club. So when I am on vacation, I love going to the gym. So I make sure every morning that is part of my routine. And I do the same thing every morning and it makes me feel really good. And then we go get brunch and then I read my book. And so it's almost like when you are programmed to be habitual, I don't know how to unwind that when I'm on vacation.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's actually sucks. I feel like there was a great quote somewhere where like I'm a free spirit trapped in an uptight body. I might have just invented that, but that's really what I am. She's in there. Like I've got a hippie from Woodstock inside, but she just can't get out. Just locked down in this like habitual A-type body.
Right. And what's the family dynamic like on vacation?
I haven't packing for vacation because that is very stressful for me in terms of family dynamic. What do you want to talk about?
No, let's talk about packing. That's the least stressful part for us.
My husband, well, yeah, because you don't pack. You carry on with like a Ziploc. I am very stressed out because I pack for every single one of my family members, including my husband.
Can you please tell the listeners about the shirts you pack your husband?
If he's going to not pack for himself, I will purposely send him little fuck yous, which are a t-shirt that says, "Let me ask my wife," or "Trophy husband." And
by the way, he will be a trophy husband soon.
Oh yeah, he will. I don't know if he's ready for it, but I am. And not only does he not pack anything, okay, and I have, 2 kids, one has allergies. He just complains the entire time about how much I've packed, including all of the bags that we take through the airport, when he doesn't realize that when we're sitting down, and it's usually not a great seat, not first class yet, maybe it will be after this podcast, but I'm like an octopus. Like, here's your snack, here's your iPad. Here, he's just sitting there like, yelling at me that I pack too much. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Same.
If you want me to pack less, then you make enough money to fly in a private jet.
And by the way, I relate to this in a totally different way. Doug is meticulous. He packs himself. Everything is folded in some contraption that makes sure there's
like
no
a packing
wrinkles.
cube.
I've never heard of a packing cube.
I guess they don't fit in your Ziploc.
But he packs right. He packs up his whole suitcase, and then he says things like, "I've been ready. I'm standing at the door ready. Why does it take you so long to get ready?" And I want to say, do you want to sort through with your daughter? Because she packed her entire wardrobe, her entire bathroom, her entire closet, and every
I don't
coat.
blame your daughter because she knows her mom's coming with a Ziploc, so she's got to have options.
She loves options, and so he thinks that it should be so easy. And yes, it is easy if all you care about is yourself.
Right. My husband doesn't even have to worry about himself. I even worry about his prescription sunglasses. We're going skiing. I got his altitude meds. I have to have a reminder.
So let me just ask you, someone's really popular right now. Mel Robbins, let them. What if you just let him?
Because I don't want to
know what to do.
I don't want to spend my whole trip with him going to stores, buying shit that we have at home. Okay. And there's an amazing video that I will repost on Instagram where a husband
I know this.
goes to dinner. Okay. And he's in aqua socks. Those like shoes you wear to the pool, a Hawaiian top, and like underwear. And the hostess is like, "I'm sorry, but we don't allow shorts, and you have to be in shoes." And the wife's like, "Oh, he packed himself for the first time." And the host is like, "Oh, good job. No worries. You can sit here tonight." Like, I don't want him to look like an asshole.
I do not have that problem. Doug always takes care of himself, and I think he looks sharp.
Yeah, my husband looks great too. It's not as effortless as it looks. I'm doing the effort.
But I also completely relate to the packing snacks because I like to pack as if we're going to get stranded on an island for a week and we'll have enough food.
But not enough clothes.
I don't mind wearing the same thing every day, but what I do mind is being on the plane hungry and having to depend on whatever the stewardess is passing by.
My husband also gets so mad because he will eat one of those little boxes like from JetBlue. Right? He'll eat like sushi at an airport. Like,
yes.
He's disgusting.
Doug's the same.
It's disgusting. And I am not. And I would rather eat the Sky Miles magazine than sushi at the airport.
I don't. And Doug, my kids think I should be embarrassed when I'm like opening the Lori's plastic
I grew
salad
up with egg white smell or tuna. Oh,
it smells like eggs.
Yes.
They want to kill me.
By the way,
but I'm happy. I'm having the lunch I wanted. The lunch I
Absolutely.
would have had if I was at home.
Could not agree more.
100%. I bring a million snacks, food, and then you know what happens? I bring so much for my kids, and then my kids just want M&Ms and potato chips, and I'm lugging 50 pounds of crudité.
So wait,
I have something else.
They buy it at the news store.
Yeah.
There, and, yep.
I just can't.
I have something else to ask you. Well, I let my kids whatever they want. They buy tons of candy and magazines, sodas,
for you. So yeah,
whatever they want.
Your
but
food pyramid is different.
I have
than
to
ours.
ask this. So we each get. So we don't check anything. So we each.
That's insane.
So we each get a rollie and we each get a backpack. And I have this thing where like that morning, like 25 minutes before we're leaving, I am trying to figure out how I can distribute all the things I'm packing in the 5 carry-ons.
Oh, that's why I only have one bag.
But
because if your kids are carrying all your shit.
But then if Eleanor opens her bag, she's
they'll flip out.
I'm not carrying this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
this is not mine.
I do that with my kids.
Clementines. They might be clementines you're going to eat.
I don't like the
I'm
smell.
not carrying that. And then Sandy will say, whose flip-flops are these? They're mine. I'm not.
Oh my God, I do this too. I'm so happy I'm not the only one.
I do it too. But with
And then
my
I
kids,
try to hide it in the bottom so they won't notice I put it in their carry-on.
that's amazing. Wait, I'm dead.
But you know where I get this from? So my grandmother, she used to detest, once a year we'd all descend on her home in Florida, Boca Raton. It's very
Jewish. You know, that's
Jewish
the only
childhood
place.
vacation.
That's the only place that the Jews colonized, Boca Raton.
And
Bill
so
Maher said that.
my grandma did not cook, did not clean. I don't even think she ate, but her kitchen was spotless. But the one week we
Of
were
course
all
it was
there,
spotless. She didn't cook or eat.
right? So the one week we were there, we would buy groceries, we would eat in the kitchen, and then the day we were leaving, she'd say, "Take this. I don't want any of it. Take it."
Yeah.
All week she'd say, "When are you leaving? When are you leaving?" And then she'd say, "Take this, take this, take this," and we'd all say, "No, we don't want it." And then we would get home, and it was always this joke, like, "What are we going to find in our suitcase?" So I would be unpacking, and like underneath the layer of sweaters, I'd find half a thing of Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
No joke. So I think this is genetic.
It's genetic just for you. Yeah, I guess you're putting clementines in the bag. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, the packing.
Why? Clementines travel so well. It's like one of the best things to pack for an airplane.
They get smushed and smell, but I don't know. My mom raised me as like better to have it than not. So I'm
Be
like
prepared.
compulsively packing everything. And, you know, I literally pack like I'm not coming home. And you pack like you're going for a walk. Like but now I know why. It's because all your shit is dispersed throughout your kids' stuff.
That is the truth. So now that we've gotten to packing, I think there's one other thing that happens before we go on vacation, which is the prepping of ourselves.
Oh, like the people going away all of a sudden who are like Neanderthals, and then they get bikini waxes and all that stuff. No, I mean, I
think it's real. Like you can see my toes right now.
My toes are
Although
also pretty bad.
because I'm going skiing, I feel like I have an out if I don't have time.
I think you
to
actually
get the
need a pedicure just for me now. I mean, mine aren't much better.
But right, that is
Yeah,
there's
I
like
think
a
it's a
whole
thing.
routine. And as somebody, a former working mom, it's
Working
really
outside the home, mom.
working outside the home, mom. Thank you. I totally need to be corrected, but it is not easy to build in those appointments.
No, I know. Like my hair looks like a dead horsetail. It's that's why it's in a bun. It really. My daughter has a fresh haircut, and manicures, pedicures, body hair removal. It's so hard being a woman. I still wouldn't want to be a man, but it's still hard being a woman.
I've sort of outgrown the body hair removal.
Yeah, that is uncomfortable for me. Like, does that mean you're like a Orthodox beard down there kind of situation? Like, I don't want to go graphic. But
first of all, I think it actually became very in vogue to be natural.
Oh, how many vaginas are you looking at? Like, how do you know it's in vogue?
I don't know. Maybe I read that somewhere. But
no, that's out. You're thinking of the pro-Palestinian protest people with the blue hair.
No, but in all seriousness, well, first of all, I think part of it's menopause. I feel like I'm just not hairy like I used to be.
Oh, that's true. You could be less
I don't
hairy.
need to do as much. Secondly,
or your eyes aren't working as well.
That's entirely possible. There's always the stray hair. I'm like picking at my bikini line when I get on vacation and realize I actually probably did need a bikini wax.
I mean, I believe in maintenance. Again, my mom always taught me beauty is pain. My daughter actually says that, and she's 5.
Oh my gosh. So wait, I didn't know what waxing was until I got to college and met somebody from New York City.
Oh no, I was 11, and my mom was like, "We're going to the J Sisters, and you're getting your legs waxed."
That's the famous place.
Of course, they invented the Brazilian.
Yeah, that was my first Brazilian when I was post graduation.
That's scary. That's
especially
22 years old.
I dated a guy from the Upper East Side.
Oh, but I guess that was that was the 90s. I don't think that was in. I'm just going by eyebrows. Like, eyebrows were very thin, so I feel like vaginas had to be
I
hairless.
didn't know that either. I kept wondering why everybody looked so good. I had no idea that you could touch your eyebrows.
Wow. My mom is hair phobic and took me to the J Sisters. I'll never forget this. She took my mom and her close friend took myself and my friend, we were 11, to get our legs waxed, which meant when we went to camp, we couldn't shave, which was horrifying because when it grows in, you're like a little monkey. But actually, I remember my friend went first, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so hairy, like monkey." I heard her screaming and I was like, oh my God. My mom was like, beauty is pain. Beauty is pain.
But wait, like now I feel like everyone says, and I even say this, but I don't even know why I say this. I always say to Eleanor, don't shave your legs. Don't shave, like wait as
because
long as
then it
possible.
grows in. You still want to take the hair off. You don't want them to look hairy and look weird.
But she's blonde.
Oh, okay, it's fine. But
hairy blonde.
it's the shaving when you're little, it gets stubby and grows in. But
Thick and coarse, as my mom
I feel like I might have shaved my bikini line until I learned about wax.
I bet you used Nair. You're one of those. Did you use Nair?
Well, maybe in high school once or twice we tried Nair. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. But I do think at this point I've just graduated. Once in a while I'll get like an upper leg wax.
Ooh.
Going crazy.
Ooh, Doug's a lucky man.
But seriously, look, I hardly have any hair anymore.
I mean, it's like
I think that's kind of a thing because I definitely remember
to lose hair or to
I
not
was
wax it?
hairphobic as well when I was young.
I absolutely hate hair. I think it's disgusting, even though it serves purposes.
Well, and it sounds like you've trained your husband to get rid of his hair.
Oh, that is true. That when he man groomed his chest and just decided to leave it all over the bathroom, looked like he killed a small animal.
But like, is that a thing too, man? I don't know about this either.
I don't know, but I do know that I waited all day and made him vacuum it, and he was like, "I don't see anything," and it was literally a dead animal all over the floor.
Right.
So I think he was just fucking with me, but it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. And now that there's this whole post-COVID beard situation, I have it on my sink where Doug trims his beard, and it's like
I thought you were talking about your beard.
well,
yeah, but does he put it away? No, they don't clean the hair.
Not. I mean, and he's actually fastidious and neat, so I don't.
So is my
understand
husband. My husband is so well groomed and smells nice and clean.
Yeah, same.
He cannot clean for shit. It's really horrifying. But anyway, he's going to hate me for that.
Another fortune cookie. We're going to have an episode about our husbands, like how much we hate them.
But love them.
But love them, of course.
I mean, we spend a lot of time with them. They're fucking annoying.
I mean, I've been with Doug 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, because we dated 8 years before we got married, and we're married 22 years.
No wonder you just let it all grow. All right. Well, to be honest, this is a good reminder that people who have not booked any vacations, there is still room at the virtual ADHD Palooza that we got emails for.
Yes. Which I think I really might need.
But like, I get how many people sign up for that and then don't remember they have it. Like if you have ADHD,
well,
you're not
actually,
remembering.
that's kind of embarrassing because I signed up for the parenting one and I forgot I had it.
Of course you did, because you have ADD.
And then I stayed up one night for 3 hours watching the videos. And then I was like, wait, I'm now doing a podcast that I don't need experts anymore. Why am I still clinging to this fact that there's some nugget of, wisdom in these videos? And it was so liberating in that moment to like have that realization and say, I don't need this. I'm turning it off and I'm going to bed.
I'll tell you what you do need is you need to figure out your airport preparedness because it's very stressful for me.
It's by the way, it's 12:35. We're gonna have to wind this down, but I will say my husband and you share that. Doug always does everyone have what they need? Glasses, hats, toiletries, phone, charger, and then
no, my husband only does it. My husband does it to himself. He'll be like wallet, watch, glasses, belt. Okay.
Jason, do you know that Jason once left my suitcase in our apartment?
Sorry, that's so Jason.
And we landed.
He had his though.
All the suitcases came on the conveyor belt except mine, and I thought it was lost. Turns out when the super went upstairs, it was in my room.
When was that? I'm dead.
It was last year, and Harrison, my 5-year-old son, still goes, Mommy, remember when you lost your suitcase?
And you're like, I didn't lose it. Yeah. Daddy didn't bring it.
And I go, Harrison, whose fault was it? He goes, Daddy's.
Yeah, it's always Daddy's.
That's right.
I have some empathy for Jason because after even the entire checklist, we get downstairs, we'll get in the Uber, we'll get down the block, and then I'll say, oh my God, I don't have my phone.
You know what you are? You're actually the mom from Home Alone. But you don't have 12 kids, but you're the mom from
I once did park the car and forget Bunny. And then I was in the apartment and I was like, oh my God, I left Bunny. And I had to go back to the garage and have them take the car.
Oh my God.
So yes, I could be. I'm like one step away from the woman from Home Alone. Although Bunny is my child. So I guess I am her.
Yeah. I think that's actually, you are. Wow. I mean,
no harm, no foul. Bunny's great.
No,
it's resilience building.
Except they could suffocate. Bunny is her dog. I don't want child services to call. But actually, the animal ASPCA people are pretty crazy too. They could call. Bunny was fine. The windows were open.
Bunny is so loved.
But also talking about just before we close up, and I know that you don't have to pack that much because you actually wear the same outfit that you travel in for 2 days, which to me is absolutely disgusting that you would wear your plain outfit another day and then put it back on to travel. Like, I fumigate it. I'm like horrified. I feel like there's viruses on it.
I just want to clarify, when I go away for a week, my travel outfit is my travel outfit, and I take it off and I put it in the closet and then I put it back on when I'm traveling again. But I'm going to Chicago and I'm leaving tomorrow. So I'm going to go in my outfit, go to dinner, go to bed in my pajamas, put my outfit back on the next day and fly home that night.
No, I would have to pack another outfit. It's pretty scary.
And I also usually only bring one pair of shoes when I travel.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, Caroline's a maximalist and I'm a minimalist. And I think we both have a lot to learn from each other.
I do too. And Gelman also is I would say she's a maximalist. You know, she packs even more than I do. She packs a whole duffel of food and snacks and just everything. Like,
I think we should also maybe talk about the robe situation.
Oh, she packs 3 robes, and we'll let her tell you that. Not only she packed the robes, the other thing, you might wear your plain outfit for 3 days straight. Courtney still, I'm sorry, Gelman, I'm going to throw you out here, wears a mask and gloves and will not use the lavatory once.
We're over the masks, baby. We need you to explain this.
I mean, I can't unsee it. COVID happened, and now I see how disgusting people are. So why not? It's gross. I'm sorry.
Are you comfortable in your mask?
No, I'm so embarrassed.
No, not about embarrassed, but like, can you breathe?
No, it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I know. Once I get, maybe
but
this is crazy.
You touch your gloves and then touch your face?
I change my gloves out like every 5 minutes.
I think you did show up to my apartment in your gloves one day.
Yeah, that like not like gloves for warmth, like the
plastic kind you wash dishes with. Which, by the way, I actually want tips on that because I think it'd be wonderful to go through life with gloves. I
feel like I have to interrupt, but Courtney's always looks like she's about to do a colonoscopy.
You really know you're crazy when you get onto your Zoom with your therapist and you're wearing the gloves and she's like, what's with the gloves?
I think we should just wrap it there. Not only because that was the best line of the podcast, but because
Eva actually has to go home and pack.
I have to go home and pack and be out the door at 1 and it's 12:45.
Whoa. Okay, so I guess with that, we're mic dropping.
Thank you for tuning in. We love you all.
Good luck, Eva. I hope you make that flight.
Luck on everyone's spring breaks.
Yeah, good luck.
Enjoy it, baby. Post all those.
We can't wait to see all those press khakis. And hashtag bless, baby. Remember, more photos you post, the worse time you're having.
And 3, 2, 1,
scene.
Thanks for listening to Mic'd and Medicated. We hope you loved listening to us.
But even if you didn't, we have zero shame. So still subscribe to our podcast, leave a comment, and a 5-star review.
And follow us on Instagram and slide into our DMs because they are wide open.
This show was created in New York City and hosted and produced by
Eva Heyman
and Caroline Leventhal. And mic drop.